entertaining speaker's manual. And I actually saved it for last, even though you'd think with it being the second project, it would be one of the easier ones to accomplish. But I figured since I am resolute in getting my bronze award, I needed to suck it up and get through this. Why I was so intimidated is because I had to use resources outside of my own personal experience to fulfill this and give you other resources for entertainment. And when I look at my life, I'm thinking, I've got a guinea pig, I've got 2 dogs, 2 kids, I married my high school sweetheart, and I have a very dysfunctional family that I grew up from. Where else do I need to look? I have enough material in my own personal life to fill up a whole week of Jerry Springer episodes. So for me to look outside, I thought, what am I going to do? And then I realized I just need to stop and look and get outside of my own little world. And when I did that, I realized there is so many different opportunities for us as speakers to find other material. Today I'm going to share 3 of those places that I've found other material. The first is inspirational stories of others. The second is the internet. And then the third is movies. Last week I had a wonderful opportunity to hear Sergeant Dale Beatty speak. He is with the the North Carolina National Guard. And when he was 18, he enlisted. And he told the first story about his first assignment in the National Guard. He had to go out to the east coast of North Carolina to help evacuate because a major hurricane was coming in at that point. And there's going to expect to be lots of flooding out there. So he was helping evacuate families and loading them up on the truck. And he tells the story of they were trying to load up this one family, and it's a mom and dad and a couple of kids. And the dad gets up there and he's getting on the truck and he goes, "Can I take my TV?" And he says, "No, but we can take your kids." And I thought, what a great title. Can I take the TV? No, but you can take the kids. It's a great title for a book or a blog or something like that. Then he went on to share the rest of his story. He was in Iraq, and he and his friend were in a Hummer, and they drove over an anti-tank mine, and it blew up. And ultimately, he lost both of his legs, and he's a bilateral amputee below the knees. But he didn't let that get him down. When he got back to North Carolina, he and his friend that was driving the Hummer had also become disabled, but they formed Purple Heart Homes that is based out of Statesville. He started this in the basement of his house in Statesville. And what they do is perform upgrades and help veterans get their house. If it needs something fixed, if they need a ramp, whatever, that's what they do. They go in and fix people's veterans' houses up. Now this, I believe he looks like he's about 12, but he's probably in his early 30s. He has accomplished so much that in the first year of business in 2008, they raised $17,000. Last year, they raised $1.5 million for this adventure that they're on. They've been on ABC News Nightline, and he and his partner have been featured in Time Magazine. It's amazing what he's accomplished. Stop and look at the inspirational stories of those around you. The second place that I like to look is on the internet, and specifically YouTube can have some amazing stories on it. One of my favorites was last spring. Last spring on YouTube there was this video about this bear that had gotten loose in a neighborhood in California. And this, of course, it's California, so they've got a helicopter tracking this bear all through the neighborhood. And I want you to think of O.J. Simpson and a white Ford Bronco going down the interstate. That's what they were doing with this poor bear, following it through the neighborhood. And he was going through the trash cans and then through the houses. All of a sudden we see this guy that he's texting, and he's walking along like this, not paying attention. And I'm sure he was texting his boss saying, "Man, I'm going to be late today. There's something going on in the neighborhood. I don't know what it is, but there's helicopters and police." All of a sudden he looks up, he stops, and he looks, and there was the bear. So he's going like this, and he goes, and of course the helicopter followed him then. book, check out the internet, YouTube. And the last place is with movies. I love movies, and we get so many different inspirational stories from them, and also just one-liners galore from movies. But one of my favorites is Bruce Almighty. And we see in one spot of this that Jim Carrey, who's Bruce, is driving along. And he's praying to God, and he's saying, God, please send me a sign, please send me a sign. I'm not sure if my life is going where you want it to go. Am I headed in the right direction? Send me a sign. And all of a sudden this truck full of signs pulls right in front of them. And they're flashing, some of them. And some of them say, stop, wrong direction, turn around. But Jim Carrey's so involved in his prayer that he's not stopping and looking at what is right in front of him. Resources for us are everywhere. We just need to stop and look. And when you find those resources, make sure that you give credit where credit is due. And also, one last tip, make sure you write them down. As soon as you see that idea, write it down. Earl Nightingale said that ideas are as slippery as fish. If you don't write them down, they will escape. Madam Toastmaster.